microphone. Let's try that again. Apparently, I wanted to mute my mic. Welcome to Bat Signals from the Multiverse, a Facebook and YouTube live podcast shining a light across Gotham, Marvel, and the infinite chaos of comics, movies, and pop culture. Each week, we fire up the signal to talk comic reviews, movie breakdowns, passionate debates, ridiculous games, and the occasional crossover no one asked for, but you're going to get it anyway. And if you miss us live, you can catch the show later on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your audio fix. I'm your host, the self-proclaimed Emperor of Awesome, Bradley Butin, and I can't do an episode without my tag team partner, the unverified twin of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson in the eyebrows, the unverified twin of Dave Batista in the head wrinkles, the unverified twin of Carl Weathers in the mustache,
the flavor savor,
the unverified twin of Tony Todd in the right earlobe, and yes, the unverified twin of Shamar Moore in the nipples.
Yes, sir.
We are the reigning podcast tag team champions of the multiverse, and tonight, what do we got going on, partner?
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, for joining us for what is out, I doubt, the best part of our week. I hope it's a great part of yours. And yes, this is not Sparta. This is Bat Signals from the multiverse. With that being said, my name is Brian S. Dennis. For this week, the S stands for Holy Charge. And you know what? We're going to talk about all the things this week, especially what we feel are, because Brad and I are very peaceful people, as two men in their 40s. However, sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. Sometimes, as to quote the immortal Nate Dogg and Warren G, regulators, mount up. We're talking the best weapons across fans, fiction, Marvel, DC, fantasy, all the things, sir. All right, brother, are you ready to get to it?
I am. Let's start off with the signals of the week.
Yes,
Brian,
sir.
what are you watching? What are you playing? What are you reading?
Right. Didn't get a whole lot of reading or playing done today. Busy with teaching and all the things. However, I did watch a few things that I think you might guess what one of them is. I'm going to hold off on that one.
Yeah.
Let's start off with my movie of the week, which comes from us from the great folks over at Netflix. Brad, have you seen War Machine?
No, and the reason why is because I went and watched The Bride.
How was The Bride? Because I'm thinking about checking that out. Is it worth
don't
watching?
save your money,
Really?
man.
Really?
Dude,
Even with Christian Bale and Margot Robbie, no.
Man, even with Christian Bale, I felt like I felt like I'm at church, and the offering plate is about to come around, and I need to do the Christian Bale to save a couple bucks in my wallet.
I see what you did there. I see what you did there,
dude. I wanted to like it.
Novel concept. I wanted it is good,
but they made a couple they made spoiler alert. Okay, the bride is possessed by Mary Shelley. For some reason.
So the writer of Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Or as we say, Frankenstein. Yes. Okay.
Correct. And it I don't know, man. It didn't feel like that was necessary to the movie.
Okay.
Kristen Bale was fine. He wasn't. He was overacting like the entire time.
Okay.
Jessie Buckley, the bride was great.
Jessie Buckley, I thought it was Margot Robbie. Jessie Buckley. Okay. All right.
But other than that, man, like the story was really, really weak. I mean, they make it a point to point out Frankenstein's age, that he's over 100 years old. Okay. And he's going after a 20-year-old bride, which is kind of problematic.
A little creepy.
Right? You know, so...
But is it any creepier than Avatar with Aang and Katara? Is it any creepier?
No. No,
Just
no,
saying.
not really at all.
You know?
But like it just it was. I don't know. I feel like they had some good ideas. They
Sure.
just didn't get there. They didn't get
Okay.
Maggie Gyllenhaal just because she wrote and directed it.
Okay.
Didn't
Who
really
is
get a chance.
really talented. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So man,
So was there
I like,
is there a scene where the director falls out of a window and Frank jumps out to save her?
they should have added that. That might have saved
Yes.
the movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So since I brought up our first side quest, so live action only. Who's been your favorite love interest of the Batman? So let's stick to live action movies. So that's
Sure.
gonna give us the Keatons. So you got Vicky Vale, you got the various versions of Catwoman. Well, there's only been one Catwoman. There's been a Selena Kyle.
Yeah.
You know, you've got Rachel. You've got a variety of women. Talia al Ghul. All the things. Who do you think, in your opinion, who's been your favorite bat couple, if you will,
Yeah.
in the live action movies? Live action big screen movies.
Man, I'm gonna have to go Michelle Pfeiffer, Catwoman, just
Okay.
because they actually gave her a part.
Yeah.
I mean, even in Batman, even in Batman 3, they didn't really give Anne Hathaway, which like they didn't let her take it there.
Sure. Or did they? And there's also the big debate on, are they really there at the end or not? Right.
Yeah.
So that's always
It's true.
Or is
What
Michael
about you?
Caine
Let's
having a senior moment? Yeah.
Let's turn the tables, man. Who
Okay.
is the greatest Bruce Wayne / Batman love interest?
If I went by who I would pick for my own world, Anne Hathaway wins hands down. I think she rocked the
Yeah.
costume the best. But and by the way, she's also not Catwoman. She is Selena Kyle. They didn't go there.
Mhm.
But I gotta agree with you. I think Michelle Pfeiffer as Catwoman, she did her best Eartha Kitt.
Yeah.
RIP to the greatest Catwoman on all
Yeah.
honesty. But also, I remember Little Bitty Brian. Two things I took from that was, one, Brian, I know you'll ride with me here. You know, mistletoe can be deadly if you eat it, but a kiss can be even deadlier if you mean it. That imprinted on me at a very young age. And then the other part was, for other reasons, her cleaning herself in that costume. That just. Yeah, I spent the weekend alone in my room.
Right.
But anyway,
I don't want to grow up. I'm an S&M kid. There's a man in whips and jeans that we can play with.
Yes,
absolutely.
So, by the way, if you've not seen Batman Returns, folks, check out Batman Returns.
Yes, check out all the Batman stuff. This is Bat Signals from the multiverse, so definitely check them out.
Yes. So, a person that came to the B&B, by the way, thank you, B&B, for our trivia night this past weekend. My friend Chelsea, who's one of the folks that attended, she went to a trivia night, and I'm forgetting the name of the place that they went, but it was 90s trivia. And the first question was naming the live action Batman movies in order. So, and you had to know the years. So,
okay.
I think her boyfriend carried the weight on that one, but I heard apparently got the question right. So, hey, good look out of there. So she texts me without having to look. I go, this, and this. So again, you know where to go for Batman trivia. All right. So check out War Machine. It's Alan Richard. He does a really good job.
Who should be Batman? He should be.
Pull it off. He could definitely pull it off.
Yeah.
I can see him. I know you say should be Batman. I see him more, especially watching him in this, as well as Reacher. I see him as Red Hood. Because he's got this incredible build, but also he plays a little unhinged, and they do the move in two really good acts. You've seen the trailer, you kind of get the gist of the film, which is fine, but they do basically the backstory of him as a soldier in one part of it, and then when they encounter the War Machine as these, and so they do a good job of doing a very gritty, realistic war movie the first half. Then they bring in the sci-fi, we got to fight the alien machine second half, and they meld them really, really well.
Good.
And they do a really good job with he's a ranger in training. They do a great job with this, and as well as we have some really cool cameos, Esai Morales and Dennis Quaid are both in the movie. So
nice.
Again, no spoilers. Check it out. It is one of the better action movies. And honestly, if they had released, especially a spring release where you're not fighting some of those Marvel movies in the box office, had this been a spring release in the theater, it probably would have definitely done well. It was just really, really well done. He legitimately is you have those action heroes that are more, everyday person kind of physique. So like that Tom Cruise mold, or now we've seen the so you see those guys that you might see on the street that are less assuming. So that would have been Tom Cruise back in the day. That's more Keanu Reeves, kind of his niche now, maybe a little Liam Neeson. And then you had like the Stallone, Schwarzenegger, these guys that are just really Schwarzenegger, jacked, that you really wouldn't even want to step to him in a bar unless you really want to have a bad night. He fits that role as an action hero. Just like he could never be that, even though they tried this with Arnold, he could never be that dude that's working during the day as a CPA and like, oh, you're really a secret agent? No. Okay, like there was so much suspension of disbelief with True Lies, which I love. True Lies is part of my favorite Arnold movie, but he does so well in this. Okay, so that's my movie recommendation. As far as things I'm watching, some things that are on general television. So DMV and Ghost are both back. Brad, have you been watching Memory of a Killer with McDreamy?
I have not.
They really. If you can guess with the title and some of the imagery, if you don't know anything about this, and they make it very clear within the first 10 minutes of probably what's going to happen. But this is very much an organized crime Sopranos type show.
Oh.
In fact, there's a few folks from the Sopranos in the show. So he definitely does that double life. Hey, I'm this nice suburban dad who's also a mafioso hitman, and neither life knows about the other. And what happens through some very potentially real life tragedy that happen to anyone, those worlds start to mesh. I think it's 4 episodes in. It's really good. It's really, really good. It's extremely good. Then again, I mentioned DMV and Ghost. Scott Speedman has made a return to television in RJ Decker. Did you check it out yet?
I did. I like me some Scott Speedman. I've ever since Underworld, man.
Yes. And also Jaina, and I'm gonna butcher her last name, but she was in both the Firehouse show and in the short-lived Morris Chestnut's show, Rosewood. She is very good. And that first episode, if you're gonna go to prison, that's the way I think most of us choose to go to prison.
Yeah.
Done really,
very
really well.
Clever. We'll say that.
Yeah, she has a unique way of solving problems.
Right. Which is going to be the spin-off.
She has a particular set of skills. All right, and then we'll probably spend some time on this. I've taken too long on these. Of course, Paradise.
Oh, man.
Paradise.
You know what? I want to bring up Marshalls before we get into Paradise.
Do that. Absolutely. I figured we would spend the time on Paradise.
Man, Marshalls, maybe the hype was too high. Maybe the expectations were too high. But, man, I want to hear what you think. On a scale from 1 to 10, better yet, let's do it a Beardies. Let's bring back a Beardy scale.
Okay.
On the Beardy scale, where would you rate Marshalls? I would say, personally, 5 Day Stubble.
I'm going one better than that. I'm going Stephen Q. Urkel all winter long, no shave November. Maybe itty bitty find. I'm going that middle school. We all had those with facial. All had that look like a caterpillar fell asleep on your lip, or is it really dirt? People try to wipe it off. That's sludgy.
Yeah.
So now that you mention that, okay, we've been very clear on this podcast. We generally love us some Taylor Sheridan.
Yeah.
However, I will say what I've come to feel are his weakest projects is the primary Yellowstone canon. The prequels of Yellowstone are really good. The other products like Bass Reeves, Lioness, we both really love. Landman, the show that with Michelle Pfeiffer and Russell and Kurt Russell's coming out, which seems more of a drama. Is that definitely I'm going to give it a shot because it's Taylor Sheridan.
Yeah.
but generally Yellowstone lost me a few years into it, and then I love the two prequel series, and then watching Marshals. They made a show around, for me, the least interesting of the Dutton children. He, to me, is the least interesting of the... So, with Beth and Rip show that's coming out, that I would...
Ranch.
Yeah, Dutton Ranch, thank you. That I think has more potential, just given the folks in it. Yeah. But again, you gave me the least interesting of the Dutton children and didn't give me anything to really. It's a good. This probably, I think, is what struck me. They tried to make a show featuring a member of the Dutton family and make it a little bit warm and fuzzy.
Yeah.
That's not what we want from the Dutton family. That is not what we want from the Yellowstone patriarchy at all. So, yeah. Please go ahead. Your thoughts.
Oh, no, you're fine. What I was thinking, man, like, and I get why they killed off the wife. Again, spoiler alert. But I think that didn't help them.
No.
You know what?
Like, was an interesting character. He is not.
Yeah.
He's not.
I honestly, man, I honestly think that the show would have been better.
Yes.
If they killed the son off. If the son got cancer, I mean, like, just, I mean, like, that sounds really, really bad to say out loud.
By the way, this would be clear. But no, I get your point. Right. But the character, yeah.
But like pushing him back, but also having something to do with somebody that forces him back into the Marshals instead of like that's the itch that he has to itch. You know, when the whole last season of Yellowstone was about him getting away from that. But then now he's embracing that's who he is. I don't know, man. I mean, I'm still gonna watch it, and I really, really hope that I do a 180 on it. But yeah, man, definitely not good on the Beardy scale.
Yeah. And again, it's one of those shows that honestly, and again, I think this is what we talk about when you do into advertising. They made it look interesting from the trailer. I mean, don't get me wrong, the other members of the Marshals are more interesting than him, so maybe we'll get more of them. I'm a big fan of Ariel Cabell, so there's definitely some folks in the show that have there's there. I just don't know if this is, and again, like I said, it's the first episode, so we're judging an entire series on one episode. But similar to when we get to Paradise, a lot of people try to judge the new season of Paradise based on the first episode. And for those of you that did that, you were wrong. First off, I also really liked the first episode.
So did I, man.
Judged by the first episode, you were wrong. And Bradley, before we jump into Paradise, quick question, sir.
Yeah.
Want a breath mint? Answer is no. I'm answering for you. No.
Correct.
Yes. All right.
Oh, dude. Yes. Paradise. Let's talk a little bit about Paradise, man.
Okay. And
I'm
maybe
just gonna
spoiler alert, folks. So have you finished all four?
I finished all four. I want you to talk it out, but I just want to throw my Beardy on there.
Okay.
My Beardy is ZZ Top.
Yes.
Doing the Star Spangled Banner at the Super Bowl.
I have on my Beardy scale Gandalf's beard. At the end of Gandalf's beard, we have Gimli hanging by the end of it, and at the end of Gimli's, there's a rope tied around the ankle of Dumbledore. That's the level of Beardy,
right,
that we're talking here. Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent show. So for everything we've said about Yellowstone, let's apply to Paradise. In that, guess what, folks? In a world where in a streaming world, we see entire seasons coming out, and we binge them in a day or two. Then we get mad, we have to wait a year for the next season. Online gives all types of spoilers. By the way, before I get towards this, Bradley, one of the great things that is like they have a fantastic companion podcast.
Yeah,
the show
watching. Yeah,
it's very good. This show has shown, and Dan Fogelman, I've actually started rewatching This Is Us because I love this show so much. Does a great job of, with both season 1 and season 2, giving us a slow burn that we didn't know was there and having that episode. So season 1, that moment, was the end of episode 1.
Mhm.
That moment for season 2 was the end of episode 3. And a lot of the online chatter has been that. People are like, oh, that's not enough Xavier. Why are we doing this? Or some people just don't even like the character of Annie. By the way, you get your wish.
Dude,
But
they're wrong.
How do you not like Shailene Woodley and Annie?
Oh my gosh,
But also, I remember I screamed in my living room like, oh, when we have that reveal in episode 3. We'll go back through 1 through 4 in a second, but a reveal in episode 3 with who the kid is. And I was like, Dan. So Dan Fogler, if you're listening, and we know you are, I was like, you know, De Niro from like the Analyze This, Analyze That movies. You. That's what I did. Okay, so let's just jump back to it. So assuming that you saw the first season of Paradise, this is what we get really quick in episodes 1 through 4. Episode 1, Ashley does not pick up with Xavier Collins, played by the phenomenal Sterling K. Sterling K. Brown in this.
Cousin of the podcast.
Yes.
We'll call him cousin
yes.
of the podcast.
Yeah. Yes. We need a Samuel. By the fact they're both in Marvel, somehow do some type of time thing where we get Sterling K. Brown and Samuel Jackson in the same place. All right. You know, Samuel went to Wakanda back in the day and he runs into Sterling. Something. All right.
Of course.
But with that being said, so the first we get introduced to a couple new characters. One we think would be important, one we find out is important.
Yeah.
So we meet Annie and Link. So here's what happens when you have the apocalypse. You know what, Brad? If I had to hide in any place on the planet and I happen to be living in the South, I'm going to Graceland. Okay.
Michael, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. So we learned that Annie is a survivor in the series. In the second season premiere, she's living in Graceland, primarily on her own for 3 years. She gets met by these travelers, the leader of which is Link, who, as any meet cute happens, she gives him a concussion by hitting him in the back of the head when he's playing the piano.
Yeah.
But what we find in that first episode, more than anything else, is that Arkansas, both presently and in the future, is not a great place you want to be. And that old tech still works based on the EMP.
Yeah.
We have Annie in that great moment. They do the things that the kids do nowadays. And due to all her trauma, doesn't go with Link. He is named after Link from the video games, which is, I think, is a spoiler for some things we're going to see later on. And she finds out a few...
Maybe a Link from the past?
I'm going to tell you my theory here in a minute. A few months go by and she realizes she's pregnant. So that's the end of episode 1. Episode 2, we see that Xavier's plane crashes, which there's a big boom. And then in episode 1, she goes off into the woods across the river, basically to Arkansas, and finds an unconscious Xavier Collins. We see in episode 2, Xavier Collins' plane crashes. Also, there's a running theme of nosebleeds that happens. He crashes, gets found, like we all hope we do, by a bunch of traumatized kids who don't speak. And through the machination of that plot, he gets severely injured, loses almost all of his possessions, but we get a phenomenal backstory of how he met his wife Terry, which was done so incredibly well. And then at the end of episode 2, we see that he is taken by Annie, and Annie is basically holding him hostage and kidnapping him because she wants to go to Colorado and he wants to go to Atlanta. And by the way, Brad, even if you're not a master of geography, Colorado and Atlanta are in very different directions. All right.
Yes.
So I'm going to pause there. What were your thoughts on the first 2 episodes?
So great and great. So, man, look, all 4 of them. Yes. Good. Yes. Absolutely great. Freaking amazing.
And fantastic. And they were 4 very different episodes.
Dude, episode 4, we've talked about this before. There's certain episodes of TV that'll just kind of live in our soul. Like Sandman season 1, episode 5.
Dedicated, yes, absolutely, yes.
Yep. This Paradise season 2, episode 4.
All the
will definitely be one of the greatest episodes of television for a long time. Man, it had everything. I mean,
yes.
I mean, dude, it had even ocular perspiration.
Absolutely. So episode 3 was the only episode so far that was really dedicated to them being in a bunker, the actual location of quote unquote paradise. And we got to see again what I love about Paradise. Anything Dan Fogelman does, even when people have died, they're not really gone. So we have two primary characters who, in the timeline of the show, are gone. They made appearances both as the president, played by James Marsden, and in Agent Billy Pace. We see them. We see them in Jeremy Crane, whose character is not dead. We got to see him younger, so we get a lot of backstory of how, which I love, how Sinatra met Billy, as well as we got our first really glimpse of Annie. She is so my favorite character. Not Annie. I mean, Annie is a great character, but Jane is so my favorite character. And then we got to find out what breath mint means, which is fantastic. Again, not too many spoilers. You want to know? Watch episode 3, and let's get to episode 4, which took us on this fantastic ride. I'm doing my best not to give too many spoilers, but it was really concentrated on Annie and Xavier and their experience. So Annie was already very traumatized based on her childhood, what they show in episode 1, before the caldera and the world fell apart, and then she was further traumatized with what happened to her, really her only friend, the day of the actual apocalypse, and then what happens in the years plural post that. Then you've got Xavier Collins, who has known so much loss, but he re-enters the world with nothing but hope. Hope of finding Terry. You have this person who's literally afraid of the world, and this person who will fight the world to find his true love. And you see their relationship start off very rocky, get better and better. Where I don't know about you, but I was excited to see how their friendship and relationship expands throughout the series and the season. And then we get the Holy Charge. How much ocular perspiration did you have, brother?
Dude, I'm glad that I watched it by myself. Oh man, like
by the way,
I was not planning on it.
You share tears with folks you care about and love and whatever, but we both watched it alone, and it was very much ocular perspiration. Yeah, man, like it was such a beautiful storytelling episode. The mother's love she shared in that moment, and Sterling K. Brown doing his best Denzel with the one. I don't know how these actors do it. They get the one tear. Like, I can't control one tear, but both him and Denzel can do it. By the way, I'm calling right now. If Sterling K. Brown doesn't win an Emmy next year, just based on that, because when they do the Emmys, it's based on one episode.
Yeah.
So if he does it, both he and Shailene Woodley, or as he calls her, Shay Shay, if they don't get Emmy nominations based strictly on the Holy Charge episode, there's no justice. I can't imagine one episode with better acting and all the feels that those two people do in that episode. So and I mean, it's still early in the year, but I mean,
I'm not gonna forget the episode. So good, so amazing. Check out Paradise if you haven't. New episodes of that is what, Tuesday? Monday night.
I catch my Hulu on Tuesdays, but because it's Monday night at 9, and we're both usually watching Raw. All right, so before we go forward, because I want to check in, I have a theory, and we can delve more into this as we get further.
Yeah.
But as you notice, Xavier has these dreams he tried to talk to Annie about regarding Link, and we know Link is the kid that's referred to in episode 3. Do you have any thoughts on what? Because I feel there's a big reveal coming, especially with Alex. Any thoughts on what that may be?
I don't know, man. Like, honestly, and it's weird. Like, I haven't really even thought about it too much. I love the Love Actually, the bunker when they get to the bunker. That was really cool.
Yeah.
I don't think that they would go to multiversal things because of the way that they did in the episode of showing that how he was a kid and grew up and he's super smart and you know, all the things. You know, but there again, like I wouldn't be surprised on anything. I mean, I take that back. I will be surprised on everything, but I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they go where. I mean, like, here's a show they took about living in a dome that you didn't know was a dome, and now they turn this around and it's an apocalyptic type thing. And dude, you know what? I'm in the back seat. I'm enjoying the ride right now.
So
what's your third?
I want to be, so I'm going to get, and so this is not my theory. This is what, again, a friend of the show, Chad Michael Aldrich, actually, I'm going to give him his straight up government name. This is his theory, and I'm going to give him all the flowers of it. That I thought, I caught a few things in how they've handled the episode, and he gave me his full-on theory. So I'm going to give you my backstory, but he's going to put a bow on this for me, okay? So first off, watching the episodes, especially watch episode 3, when Sinatra, and by this is major spoiler alerts for anyone that doesn't want the spoiler alerts. So Sinatra meets with the scientist, who, by the way, the actor that plays the scientist is the ex-husband of from Mad Men and Good Girls, the redhead. Can't I think of her name right now? But if you watch Mad Men or Good Girls, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So that's the man I kicked his coverage. But anyway, with that being said, Sinatra goes. So we learned two things from a conversation they had at a bar after we saw what their initial meet in season 1, which is once the caldera, the super volcano happens, and we have all the things that kill millions upon millions of people. The world isn't done. There will be survivors, but that the damage is not done. What will happen is that the super cold weather will end. The earth will basically have a massive spring. People think things are better. And then it's called the Venus effect, which is the ultimate identity of what we're talking about greenhouse effects, is that the trapped greenhouse gases cause both the temperature to rise and there to be so much pressure within the earth that if you didn't cook, you are crushed by pressure. Sinatra asks, how can we fix this? He goes, what you need, one thing that billionaires can't buy, which is time. Keep that in mind. Then we see in the episode where Annie is in the midst of episode 4, we also get the introduction of the first child born in the bunker. So that's episode 4. Then we go back to episode 3 and we see where the scientist who creates this Alex machine talks about, do you believe in fate? And he kept asking Billy, are you supposed to be here at this time? And then Brad, he says this, and it's a quick throwaway line, that he's choosing the sun because maybe it worked. So this was the theory that Chad put together. We see them introduce Calvin, which is the name of the kid that's born in the bunker. Perhaps Alex is time travel. And remember, Sinatra is seeing, does Alex work? And she kept, the housekeeper, who's not a housekeeper, kept going, it's getting close. And Sinatra goes, we may have to settle for close. Here's what Chad put together. The Alex machine is time travel. The baby born in the bunker, the first baby born in the bunker is actually Link. Link in the video games travels between worlds. They send the baby back, or the toddler back in time with the knowledge of what to do so he can fix things. However, they didn't shoot him back far enough, so that's why he knows so much about the bunker and where to find it, because he grew up there. That also would explain why he knows nothing about Elvis. Remember, he goes, not a big Elvis fan, didn't get any Elvis references, that if he was born and raised in the bunker, the only person that likes oldies music was the president. And it was all hair bands. So a lot of these references in 2025, 2026, he would not necessarily have, but the reason he knows so much about it was if he was told all the things behind the Alex science, if he was groomed to know those things and then sent back in time, So that is the ultimate. So basically, a Terminator type deal. That,
But like Kyle, yeah.
yeah. So Annie, I guess, is the new Sarah Connor. So
Oh my gosh.
that was Chad's thought process of that. Actually, and that's why he picked the video. There's also, remember, the president loved video games. So
Yeah.
that potentially could be who he is that he's that newborn kid that gets raised in a bunker, taught all the things about the Alex Project, who gets sent back in time to try and stop this, but they weren't able to send them back far enough. So that's Chad's. So we have it here as recording on March 8th, 2026. Chad, I put it out there in the podcast. We'll see if you're right, brother.
I love that. I will co-sign it as well. That's gonna live in my headcanon. I got to talk a little bit about a couple of Batman comics that just came out. First of all, if you're not reading Arcadia, it's a Black Label. I haven't read it yet, but I'm gonna wait till all the issues are out, and then I'm gonna read them all at once. And I think I want to try to do something with it. But Batman number 5 and 6 are out. Reintroduction of the Joker back into the normal timeline. Joker is this is Matt Fraction, Jorge Jimenez. Joker is in the Arkham type thing.
Okay.
But he's in a container, liquidized. He can't talk besides like a vocal thing, and he asked to talk to Batman. And he asked to talk to Batman because he wants to let him know that somebody's trying to kill him.
And it's
but not Batman.
Yeah.
Bruce Wayne.
Oh.
Says it.
Oh.
Says it.
Yes.
Yes.
So this is why Batman is the most badass character of all time. Not only is Batman's Batman, but he has, we've shared this before, if you go to Rogues Gallery of Heroes, Batman's number 1, Spider-Man's number 2. This is why.
Yeah.
This is why, because the writers know just enough magic dust to sprinkle in there, and that's always been a thing of, especially when you just break it down. There's a couple people that's always, there's 3 that have always in Batman canon regarding knowing Batman is Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
Is the Riddler figures it out, but the Riddler doesn't say anything because that removes his greatest enemy.
Yeah.
Luthor and Wayne would be contemporary, so does he have an inkling of it? And the Joker, based on his true obsession with the Batman, might figure it out, but he wouldn't want to spoil his fun.
Yeah.
He wouldn't want to spoil his fun. So that is fantastic. And I now need to check that out.
Dude, yeah, comics are DC is doing so good right now. The Absolute World.
Yes.
I mean, they're bringing in Absolute Scarecrow, Deathstroke, very very soon. So that's gonna be really cool.
I'm a big Scarecrow fan from way back, so I love when Scarecrow gets his due. He gets his flowers. He's
a villain that definitely needs. Every October should be Batman versus Scarecrow comics.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely.
All
that would be
man.
Real quick tangent.
Yeah.
In my headcanon, I want a Marvel DC crossover because I think will write himself that Scarecrow would view his greatest challenge as Daredevil.
That would be awesome.
So I've always thought, like, how, and when we do crossover events, at least nothing I've ever seen, have we not had a storyline completely focused on Scarecrow versus Daredevil? And
you know what? That we may do a pitch. We may do a pitch on that sometime.
We may have to pitch that one.
All right, Brian. Let's talk some wrestling.
Want to wrestle? All right.
Big thing.
So we had so much fun with our favorites. I'm going to do a quick review of wrestling, primarily of the Elimination Chamber, also a couple things that have happened. Primarily one big thing that's happened since the Elimination Chamber. Here's a rundown of the card. What within the world of wrestling, if you're not a fan or watch this regularly, is there's 2 events that happen on the road to WrestleMania that establish the main event picture for that pay-per-view or PLE, which we'll have on April 18th and 19th. With that being said, the Royal Rumble winners get to pick which world champions that they want to challenge. The other world champion, both in the men and women's division, their challenge is determined by the Elimination Chamber. So we have the Women's Elimination Chamber, which is Rhea Ripley, Tiffany Stratton, Alexa Bliss, Asuka, Kiana James, who is super impressive, and Raquel Rodriguez. The winner of that was Rhea Ripley. She is returning to the main event picture. I saw a stat that she's actually challenged or been the champion in the last, with this one. This will be the 4th straight WrestleMania she's involved in a women's world title match. So it will be her versus Jade Cargill. I think of that. I think we both think it possibly Stratton, but we went with Rhea Ripley. I gotta say, Rhea versus Jade has a great deal of potential.
Yeah,
we'll see. They had their face-off this past Friday. If you didn't watch it, skip it. But they're definitely within the ring. I think that could be a really, really good match. AJ Lee defeated Becky Lynch. I think we both called that because this will set up AJ versus, I'm assuming, Becky at WrestleMania. CM Punk defeated Finn Balor. Again, another really, really good match. The finish of that match seemed a little rushed. On the ran short on time. But all of a sudden, Finn just got kicked in the head by Punk 3 times. Punk hit him with a go to sleep 1, 2, 3. It was not as good as their first encounter, but this set up CM Punk to again solidify that he'll be defending against Roman Reigns. And then in the match, I think everybody was waiting for the men's elimination. The women's elimination match was well done, but the men's elimination match was the main event for a reason, which was Randy Orton, LA Knight, Cody Rhodes, Javon Evans, Trick Williams, who is my new favorite coming up, Logan Paul, who was there instead of Jey Uso. And what we got was a few things happened. We got a return of Seth freaking Rollins.
Yeah.
Which there's some mixed feelings about that, and I'll talk about here in a second. And then what we got was Randy Orton out of nowhere, literally out of nowhere, getting the RKO and pinning Cody. Now, what that should have set up was Randy Orton versus Drew McIntyre, who is the WWE Undisputed Champion, the champion of SmackDown, for WrestleMania. However, Drew got involved in the match, and because of that, the GM of the brand decided that we were going to have Cody versus Drew McIntyre on SmackDown this past Friday for the world title. You could see this coming a bazillion miles away. So I'm going to pause here and give you this real quick commentary. Number one, we both are fans of Drew McIntyre. We both were ecstatic that Drew finally got the world title after he had either not won it or held it for 5 minutes. Then it got cashed in on him with the Money in the Bank. And he was getting a proper run. He is a really good heel champion. He's had previous world title reigns, but they were during COVID. So this was the first reign he got, and I think he was doing excellent as a heel. That being said, Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton is not the draw that we are now going to get because Cody Rhodes defeated Drew on SmackDown, which again we all called. For the title. So now it would be Drew versus Randy Orton. Cody versus Randy Orton. They have background and legacy. They made sure to keep that relationship front and center since Cody's been back. But there is a feeling of why give Drew the title if this was going to be the ultimate plan. Now, this also sets up Drew versus Jacob Fatu for WrestleMania. It'll be a featured match. But I feel bad for Drew McIntyre / Drew Galloway, his real name. I think the WWE has given us 2 great main events in CM Punk versus Roman Reigns and Orton versus Cody, but the way in which they went about doing it seems like it was kind of a middle finger to Drew McIntyre. So before we talk about anything else, what were your thoughts on Cody beating Drew after the Elimination Chamber?
Just exactly what you were saying. It was very, very predictable. So it was just like, whatever. We saw this one coming a mile away. The second that it was, but you know what? Here's what I think it needs to happen. I think Danhausen needs to curse somebody.
That was the other thing I was going to bring. We had the premiere of Danhausen. I saw Danhausen a little bit in AEW. I prefer more sports-based, fairly realistic wrestling. So the characters that are really far out there, save Undertaker, and I was not a big Undertaker fan as a kid, but I I basically what made me an Undertaker fan was his match with his duo match against Shawn Michaels. Um, I'm usually not a big fan, especially since we all know wrestling is choreographed, not fake. It's a work. There's no need to go so far into the cartoonishness of it. But charismatically, I like the cat. I shouldn't. I don't want to. But I have. I mean, his entrance at the Elimination Chamber to me fell a little flat. He made all that back with on Raw, and then the pair that apparently going to make on SmackDown between him and the Miz. I for some reason I don't think you should ever win a match. I really don't. But I'm kind of digging Danhausen a little bit. So,
you know me, I did not think I would.
Yeah.
But dude, I really do. I really like it. I really like him.
Yeah.
He's got a good following, and he hasn't even had a match.
No. And again, I think we should not see him in the ring very much. Now, we're going to get the occasional match from him.
Yeah.
But I think he should get matches over jobbers or enhancement talent. I don't want him beating Gunther. Not that would happen. But who knows?
Cursing Gunther
might be a thing because he cursed Dom, and we have a new Intercontinental Champion in your favorite, I know, Penta.
Yeah.
I am curious what they do with the Intercontinental title. And again, we'll do a WrestleMania forecast, but I have some concerns about this year's Mania, primarily because you have the Women's United States Champion more concerned about winning the tag titles than defending her United States title.
Yeah.
The Women's Intercontinental Championship, again, I think that'll be a good match. There's nothing going on in the tag division. I mean, the Usos, Jimmy was gone for whatever reason. They say personal reasons. But they set up nothing for the Usos to do unless, again, we get the Hard. I know we were both hoping for Penta and Rey Fenix, the Lucha Brothers. Well, Penta winning Intercontinental title, that probably isn't happening still. Maybe we get the Hardys. And you did get your wish, though. You did, and I almost texted you, but I was like, nope, I'll wait till the podcast. Folks, if you've been listening to this podcast for the last year plus, you know Bradley Buchanan's dream tag team has been Damian Priest and R-Truth. And by God, that's why I say I know they're watching. We have a few followers.
Yeah.
We got DP and R-Truth. They won the tag team turmoil, and they both, by the way, I love the fact they gave the Garzas some time to really show what they can do. They're two really good wrestlers. They had the stereo, the choke slam by Priest, the F5 or the attitude.
AA, yeah.
Yeah. It's going to be the FU, not the AA. They should have gone back to the FU. By Truth, the Twin Pins. So they're going to get a shot against the MFT. I hope they hold it for Mania for no other reason. And how cool would it be? We got this a couple years ago when Truth and Miz, the Austin Truth, won the Raw Tag titles, now called the World Tag Team titles. I would love it if Truth got another WrestleMania moment of him and they're not doing anything else with Damian Priest. I think that's a shame. But him and Truth winning the tag titles from the MFT at WrestleMania. I would love to see that.
And what do you call them?
I was playing around with names.
Yeah, me too.
Do we call them? Go ahead.
No, I mean like our Priest.
Our Priest. I was thinking about D Truth, so D for Damian and Truth.
And D Truth. Yeah.
I like that.
I like that a lot, actually.
Yeah. So I think and of course you've got, and here's what'll happen. Priest would do most of the work in the ring as he should. Our Truth will bring a lot of the comedy and personality, which he should. They'll win the tag belts. They won't hold them long, which there's no need for them to. They're not a legit tag team. The way that the Motor City Machine Guns are, the way that Fraxton is, the way that the White Six are, the way that where the hell are the Street Profits, right? So they have on SmackDown a ton of really good formal tag teams. But again, you're looking for a great moment. Priest and R-Truth winning that. And plus, I love Solo Sikoa as more of a manager. He has such great facials. Seeing Solo with the red face, if they lose those belts, I think it would be great. So we will get that. But yeah, I was hollering when they made the pairing, and I go, please. And I think with the way they made the pairing, then obviously they were winning, and I was like, yes, Brad has got to be in heaven. You got it. So whether they call this or not, we're gonna call them the Truth. And congratulations to R-Truth and Damian Priest, sir.
100%.
All right. So that was my recap of Wanna Wrestle.
All right, man. Let's move on to the Mount Rushmore of. We're not ranking, we're carving history.
Yes, sir.
Today, we are going to talk about the 10 greatest fictional weapons out there.
Yes.
We each got a list, and then by the end of our list, we're going to whittle it down to 4 for our Mount Rushmore of fictional weapons.
Yes, sir.
Brian, you want to go first? Or you want me to go first?
I'll go first. That's cool with you.
All right, man. Yeah, let's do
All
it.
right. So here's my 10 from 10 to 1. So I got to start off with we talked before about who are our favorite actors and characters. We talk a lot about Samuel L. Jackson, obviously. We talk about Princess Bride, and the person we haven't talked about for a little bit, but who we both really love, is A, Bruce Campbell, but B, Bruce Campbell as Ash from the Evil Dead and Arm of the Dead series. So
Ruby.
Number 10 for me is going to be Ash's Chainsaw. I'm curious how many of these you have in common. Number 9, I got to give it Tron's Disc, old school. So it only works in a digital world. But I'm a big fan. I really like, I know some of the critics weren't a big fan of Tron Ares. I really liked it because it gave me what I wanted in a Tron movie. It gave me special effects. And you know what? Trent Reznor did a really good soundtrack. With that being, I'm going to say that, but I'm going to old school blue circular disc from Tron.
Okay.
Number 8, I'm staying with the movies a little bit, going to the other side of horror. You got to get Freddy Krueger's claws. They can slice into your dreams. They can slice into your guts. Freddy's claws. All right. Now, jumping over to Marvel. By the way, we didn't do a really deep dive into Wonder Man, but with Wonder Man, and you've got Trevor, and you've got those folks. You've got the 10 rings, and we have the literal 10 rings held currently by Shang-Chi. When it came to that. Now, and by the way, I want to know, and I hope Marvel, with all the reorgs and coming out with Doomsday, I hope they don't forget that they mentioned that there was a beacon regarding the rings and all the things. I hope they didn't lose sight of that.
Yeah.
Number 6, a comic book I love, a show that unfortunately the lead star has some personal issues that caused the show not to last as long as it should have. But it's a baller ass weapon. The comic book has fantastic stories and is drawn and written fantastically. Number 6 for me, Brad, is the Witchblade. So, number 5, gotta talk about a ring, but it might not be the ring you're thinking of. I'm taking the One Ring from Tolkien and the Lord of the Ring and Hobbit mythology. Number 4, gotta go 80s. I gotta go big, bad, loud. The Sword of Power by He-Man. By the way, Bradley, do you have the power?
I do.
So let's take a second on He-Man. Think about how sucky it would be. And I know with the Master Universe movie coming out soon. Think about how crap it would be to be Cringer. Like, you're scared to death. All you want to do is have your life in peace, and your owner, your master, the Prince of Eternia, pulls out this big sword, this ultimate phallic symbol, and forcibly turns you into Battle Cat. Like, as a kid, I remember even as a kid, there's a few episodes where Cringer goes, that horrible Battle Cat. I hate being Battle Cat. Don't turn me into Battle Cat. And he does it anyway. Like, he still doesn't care. The Cringer doesn't want to be Battle Cat. Which then He-Man and Prince Adam are the same person. There's just one with the magical powers, and not like Prince Adam does. I mean, Prince Adam has the same physique. He just has a tan and changes clothes. But those of you that point out, how do people not notice that Clark Kent and Superman are the same person? How do people not notice that Superman and Prince Adam aren't the same person?
Yeah, one's wearing pink, purple, and white, man.
Yeah,
One's wearing
furry booty shorts. That's the only, and it has a tan. That's
Yeah,
it. That's the only
yeah,
thing is
that's true.
tan. I don't know. Maybe people go, how do you rid of the tan so fast? Maybe. Okay.
Yeah.
But it's got Sword of Power. Number 3 is also a ring, but the ring you knew I was going to include. The Green Lantern Power Ring is number 3.
Mhm.
My favorite sword in all of comics, movies, mythology, as a kid growing up in the 80s and 90s, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday afternoon, rushing home because it was on at 4 o'clock p.m. in my time zone growing up in Georgia. Still one of the best theme songs. Still with a few unanswered questions. Why didn't the Thunder Kittens age when Lionel aged? But it is, in my opinion, forget Excalibur, the greatest sword as a weapon that we have in our world, which is the Sword of Omens by Lionel. Not to mention, as a little kid, it gave me the right to say the word ho and to not be Christmas time. All right. And number 1, I just cause, okay, sentimentally, my heart pick would have put the Sword of Omens as number 1, but my head pick had to go number 1 as the Infinity Gauntlet. So those are my top 10 weapons in the world of fantasy, sir. What about you, my brother?
Okay, so we actually have 4. We actually have 5, but 4 the same, and I'll explain that in a second.
Sure.
Okay, here's mine, and I'm gonna start with probably the biggest, baddest weapon that has ever been created ever in all of everything.
Your beard?
Besides my beard.
Okay.
The Death Star. The Death Star.
I can't believe I didn't think Death Star. I was thinking, now I never went to the idea of machines. Right?
Yeah.
Death Star.
Number 9. And in regards of power, right? Like, you take a normal person, myself, Brian S. Dennis, where the S might stand for the mask, give you tune powers.
Bro, I love that, the mask.
Next,
I thought for a second you were going Bane's Venom. I'm like, Okay,
oh, you know what? That wouldn't have been bad either.
Side quest. Again, if you did a Marvel DC crossover, what if you gave Banner Bane's Venom, and then he turned into the Hulk?
Oh. Huh.
Let that one.
I'm gonna let that. Yeah, that's good. That's really good.
All right, next up, number 8 for you.
My number 8 is, we're gonna talk a little bit about DC. You can't have a good weapon without getting to the truth of things. The lasso of truth.
I wouldn't let her tie me up without even telling the truth. Like,
man, I'll tell her. You're not gonna catch me lying to Wonder Woman.
Okay, Linda Carter or Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman?
Gal Gadot.
Okay.
I mean, like, for different reasons though. I think Linda Carter has a place.
Yes.
So does Gal Gadot.
Those syndicated episodes when I was like 8 years old.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely. So here's the first one that we're crossing over, and this is kind of a double. I kind of put them together just because I felt that they were close enough together.
Okay.
And that is the He-Man Power Sword and the Sword of Omens.
Oh, okay.
So I put them together into one. It was my way of cheating a little bit, but also I didn't want to put Power Sword and the Sword of Omens because I kind of feel like,
I had the same thing. They feel very similar.
Right.
Same time, very similar time frame, all the things. To your knowledge, has there ever been a Master of the Universe Thundercats crossover?
I do not know. It has to have been a comic. It has to.
You got Filmation, you got Hasbro, who does He-Man. I forget who owns Thundercats. I think it's Mattel. So there may have been some licensing issues there, but no, I agree with you. And by the way, I want to thank both Tila and Chitara for making my youth so much fun.
You're right. So I just did a quick Google search and the AI summary. Let's just see what the AI summary says about that.
That's going to be trustworthy.
I know, right? But never mind. It's taken forever to read them, so we're just going to keep going.
All right, brother.
Next, my number 6 is the Fairy Godmother's Wand.
Okay,
So the
question.
yeah.
I like that, but question: why the fairy godmother versus Potterverse or anything of that nature? I'm just curious why the fairy godmother.
Like the Elder Wand.
Yeah, just curious. I mean, I don't have any shade with your pick. I'm
You
just curious.
know,
I didn't even think about a magic wand, which is again a great pick.
right? Because I think when I was thinking of my list, I feel like the fairy godmother's wand could do anything, and I think the Elder Wand would have some sort of limitation, because the fairy godmother's wand, I mean, they never really say what it can do.
Yeah, there's not necessarily spells. It's just here's a wish, right?
Yeah.
By the way, I just rewatched Ella Enchanted the other day. A really, really good movie. A really, really good movie.
Yeah. Oh, and you know what? You know what I put? I probably should have put these two together as well. The
Okay.
next one is the Elder Wand. Yes. My number 5 I put as the Elder Wand.
Okay.
For all the things that I said, just the wands are there. Next, my number 4. This is another one that we have, right? But I actually added to it a little bit. Instead of just the Green Lantern power ring,
Okay.
I put all the power rings of the emotional lanterns.
Okay.
Just because they're each going to be a different emotion that you have to overcome to wield. But the power of them is, as long as they have a charge, is pretty limitless.
If you had to pick a lantern, would you be a green or would you pick one of the other colors on the spectrum?
Dude, you know, I think I might be more of a blue lantern than a green lantern. I think I would be more of a hope.
Okay.
Than I would willpower. But
all right.
What about you?
I was thinking I'd want to be a white lantern, but only if I was Batman. That's the only white lantern I want to be. The black lanterns that we know is entropy and death and all the things.
Mm-hmm.
He just looked really cool.
Oh, Necron is amazing.
If you just did it strictly by branding, the black lanterns are badass. The black lanterns are bad. They're a Kiss concert with powers, so the black lanterns are badass.
Do you know where the Black Lanterns would fit really good into right now in DC? The Absolute Universe.
Yes.
The Black Lanterns should make an early appearance in the Absolute Universe because it's ran by Darkseid.
Right. So I think my son had a Contron country. What were you saying, Brent? Oh, okay. Let him finish his list, see if he's on there. But my son just had a thing that he thought should be added to the list. It's really good, but I'm curious if you have it. So I'll wait till you get done. All right.
All right. So after the power rings, I have the One Ring.
There it is.
Yep. And then I have one snap and half of everything is gone. I got the Infinity Gauntlet.
Okay.
And then my number 1, you knew it was going to be on here, the greatest weapon in all of fiction, the lightsaber.
All right. So I like the lightsaber as well. To me, again, you're more of a Star Wars person than I am. I love Mr. Star Wars, but I don't quite compete with you. To me, it was strictly sentimental value of the power sword and the sword of omens, but the lightsaber also is really up there. So here's a question, just because before I get to Brent's pick.
Yeah.
So have you seen the elongated trailer for Lanterns that they dropped this week?
Yes.
What are your thoughts on, people have pointed out some canon errors, assuming that they hold true, just some of the dialogue. What are your thoughts on some of the things, especially some of the things that Kyle Rayner has said regarding the other Green Lanterns? You probably know what I'm speaking of.
Yeah, that he's the only Green Lantern.
He's the only Green Lantern. He can't talk to any of them. One of them was a squirrel. They're all aliens. One of the big things within Lantern canon, if for folks that are uninitiated, the thing that the ring does is that it lets you be able to understand any language. So that's only because they are folks from every type of race and species across the galaxies. So there's that. And then the other part was they show, I think it's Aaron's character, so the Jon Stewart character, going to his closet, and there's a Green Lantern uniform hanging up instead of creating the uniform using a ring. So a lot of people really disliked the trailer, and have gone
Yeah.
to this is the show. This is the show we wanted. I'm curious your thoughts.
Well, I would prefer that the ring. I'm okay with a regular man-made Green Lantern outfit as long as the ring outlines it. As long as the ring makes it more right.
Sure.
Which the lantern the lantern outfit that we got, I hope it does something.
Yes.
Because it's not
no
very
kidding.
good.
It's not. And they showed it in shadow. You never know. I mean, again, the bar's pretty low from, and I respect to Ryan Reynolds. He's also pointed this out. This will be better. It'll be hard to be worse than the Green Lantern movie that we got. But there's some really good Green Lantern animated shows. But a lot of the pushback has been, if you know anything of the canon of the Green Lanterns, then this. But then the other part of this is this seems to be, not that it'll be Wonder Man. I think it won't be to that level. But that's been some people's fear, if you will, is this will be a buddy cop show that happens, and maybe not seeing any Lantern-esque properties until very late in the season, maybe even the last episode.
Yeah.
So they have one, and I think it's Hal Jordan, Kyle Rayner's character, Kyle Chandler's character, excuse me, I'm getting all my Kyles mixed up. Flying, but also flying without the uniform. So there's a lot of that stuff going on. And then, of course, my question to you, sir, is since they have shared that when whatever happens, it sets off maybe somewhat of an adversarial relationship between Hal Jordan and John Stewart. Do you think we get Parallax as part of this series? Not necessarily even season one. Let's assume there's multiple seasons. Do you think we get Parallax as part of this?
Yes, I think he's going to be infected with Parallax the entire time.
Okay.
And that's why he has John Stewart. Because he knows it's coming. Because for some reason, DC has to make Hal Jordan this great freaking Green Lantern. And why?
And I again,
so
am not the Green
choices.
Lantern. I don't know the depth of the Lantern mythology that you do, but I'm pretty versed in it. If I had to list lanterns, regardless, even if we made them human lanterns, the Earth-based lanterns, conservatively, in my feeling, between, and I'm biased, we all have our biases. He's probably fourth.
I mean, probably
Stewart's my favorite. Kyle Rayner is second. Third is and don't get me wrong, part of it is Nathan Fillion's characterization.
Yeah.
But definitely Rose Guy Gardner. And and again, I've shared this on the pod, I prefer his other two significant versions of both Parallax and especially the Spectre. I was never a huge when you had the Flash GL combo, I was more of a fan of the Flash. I mean, I think my favorite story with Hal Jordan as the Flash was how upset he got when Barry Allen died. That to me was like my seminal Green Lantern moment. So everything else was bringing back as a Spectre. Now I want Hal tortured, walking the globe with skin the composition of mayonnaise, wearing Robin Hood shoes and the tidy greens, I guess. Yeah,
I'm with you, man. I think if I had to rank my Green Lanterns, I mean Kyle Rayner's my boy.
Yep,
and then I would probably say John Stewart. Then I would probably say Simon Baz and Jessica Cruz.
Ooh, yes.
Then I think I would probably go to I guess then I'd go Hal.
See, and I'm a big Kilowog fan. I even like Michael Clark Duncan as Kilowog.
Yeah. Oh, that was good.
We opened up the door to like the entire core. Absolutely, I'm throwing in like Kilowog, and I'm getting the name of the planet. But yeah, by the way, he pointed out that one Green Lantern's a squirrel. He didn't forget that there's also a Green Lantern that's a planet.
Yes.
All right. I see a cameo over your shoulder, sir.
We were talking about Green Lantern.
Hey, Green Lantern's this guy's favorite superhero.
No, Green Lantern and Green Arrow are two of his favorites, absolutely.
Because he loves the color green.
He does. All right, Princess Leia, question for you. If you had a Green Lantern ring and you can make anything as long as you have the willpower to make it happen, what would you create using the? You can only make one thing though. One thing. What would you make using the Green Lantern ring? Got to be something you can build, not eat or drink, but it's got to be something you could create. What would you make?
Can it be a human?
Yeah, but they're not alive. But you can make it look like a human. So go for it.
Oh.
The rings can't make life, so.
Oh.
We'll make it. Okay, you know what? It's your ring. You can do whatever you want. What would it be? Who would you make?
My great papa again.
Okay, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. I think you just won our episode. That was wonderful.
Or his grandma Vogel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Those are great. Those are great, sweetheart. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, we need to get back to the pod.
Okay.
Can I get a bye-bye?
You can, because I'm going to go start a documentary with my... Excuse you.
Ha! He was a little premature. He was a little premature. All right, what are you starting? What documentary are you starting?
It's, I think, the disappearance of Skylar Lee.
Sweet.
Yeah. It's like a
All right.
three-part. Yeah.
Well, go enjoy your documentary. You give us an update next week. All right, sweetie.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
Okay. Oh, those are not on my ears.
So I had to share with Princess Leia that, when you get to be our age, sometimes you just do things a little prematurely. So it's okay. And then she shared, you probably heard her responses.
Yeah.
She wanted to know if she could create a person, and she would bring back grandparents. That is very cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, I don't tell you this enough on the podcast, man. You and your wife are doing a great job.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. We got the 23, 16, or almost 17 now, and almost 14. So whew.
Yep. So I'm sure being a girl dad is stressful, but you're doing a good. But you're doing a good job, my brother.
Thank you.
All right.
What was Brendan's weapon he wanted to add?
Oh, thank you. And this is from video games, which is great. The dagger from Prince of Persia, so you can control time.
Oh,
that was real. That was a good pull.
That is a very good pull. I'm actually kind of surprised I didn't think of that.
No kidding, because we love that video game series. So he's in his room if you can hear me, but Brad and I both agree that's one we should have had on our list. So, what'd you say, buddy? Oh, okay.
All right, so now we have to make the Mount Rushmore. We did have several in common.
We did.
We have, obviously, I think the power sword I think the power sword. We'll say the power swords, and then
I think we can put those as one. I'm good with that.
Okay, so there's one.
Yep.
And power ring or the Green Lantern ring. I'm pretty sure
the Lantern ring definitely should be there.
Yeah.
As its own deal. Yep.
What about? Kind of feel a lightsaber.
I'm good with lightsaber.
Okay.
Because it's iconic as hell. There are people that have never seen a Star Wars, and that's the other thing I think we need to take in. We talk about Mount Rushmore is also just recognizability. Mm-hmm. You can take someone that's never ever seen an actual Star Wars movie, at least from beginning to end, and you show them that lightsaber, they know what a lightsaber is.
Yeah.
They know what a lightsaber is. So since we have lightsaber, I say we don't need to do Death Star.
Cool.
Looking at my list as well, because I like those three we had in common. So we've got the Infinity Gauntlet. We've got we got the Green Lantern. I don't think we need the One Ring. Kruger, Tron's Disc, or Ash's Chainsaw. What are your thoughts, my brother?
I think out of all those, I think I like Tron's Discs the most. Just because, but is the Tron disc too similar to the lightsaber in being iconic?
Ooh, I get where you're going with that.
Because right now we got the power swords. We're representing the 1980s cartoons, Swords of Power.
Yep.
We have from DC Comics. We have the power rings, which you can pretty much do anything.
Yep.
And we have a lightsaber.
I think then if we look, especially if we look at the ones that are most recognizable, especially by younger generations, I think it's between the Elder One, so we got Harry Potter verse, and then the Infinity Gauntlet with the MCU. So I think one of those two is probably on the mountain at this point.
You know, I think at this point in time, as popular as Marvel Cinematic Universe is, I think it's the Infinity Gauntlet.
I can live with that. I can live with that. So, as we have decided the ultimate Mount Rushmore for weapons within the world of fiction and fantasy, so for our multiversal list, the Mount Rushmore is the lightsaber, the rings of the Green Lanterns, aka the Power Rings. We are having the Lion-O He-Man hybrid swords of power / swords of omen, and of course, with the snap of a finger, we have the Infinity Gauntlet. Sir, I don't think we could do any better than that.
I don't, man. I don't think so. Are you ready for Totally Not Canon?
Let's do it.
All right, man. This is where lore ends and our nonsense begins. This is part of the show where we take your favorite characters, break continuity over our knees, and imagine what they've really been up to between issues, movies, or timelines. No rules, no approvals, zero canon. Brian, are you ready to get weird?
Let's do it. That's my only skill. Let's do it, brother.
Okay, so I thought I'd do something a little bit different since we're talking about weapons, right? So I decided to take a couple characters, and give them a weapon, and I want you to explain how do you think that character would wield them. And then I'm going to second part of this after we do two of these. So, Brian, explain to me.
Yes, sir.
How Ruby would use a lightsaber and become a Jedi Knight.
Fantastic. Great pull. So first off, understand that the Jedi Knights, the clergymen with the magical powers, they're all about letting go of the material world, of finding your place, your peace within the Force. So first off is how Scooby even finds the Jedi. Scooby finds the Jedi as he is lost. He is lost in his addiction to Scooby Snacks. He's lost in his weird relationship with Shaggy. He's lost in the fact that Fred gets to hang out with Daphne, Shaggy gets to hang out with Velma, and he gets to hang out with Scooby-Doo. He is lost in the fact that he really can't stand, as much as all of us, Scrappy-Doo.
Yeah.
So as he wanders the world and finally finds that Jedi Temple, he is going to be the acolyte that we really were hoping we would get. And he learns the ways of the Jedi. And in choice between Jedi or Sith, he chooses the way of control, of delaying the inevitable, of delaying the reward, and he embraces the world of the Jedi, but these are not the monsters that you're looking for. The way in which he uses the lightsaber is actually he uses the lightsaber less than he uses the Jedi mind trick. So he used the lightsaber to wear off those villains. He used the lightsaber to light those dark tunnels that the Scooby Gang always seems to find, and he used the lightsaber to impress both Daphne and Velma, because at the end of the day, Scooby is a grower and not a shower. With that being said, Scoob uses the Jedi training to solve the mysteries. He uses the lightsaber only as a last case resort, and he uses the lightsaber to finally drag Shaggy to Scooby Snack Rehab.
Awesome. And then Shaggy goes to the dark side of the Force. I love
Shaggy's meant to be a Sith.
Absolutely.
You know what would happen? Shaggy and really what you find out is Shaggy and oh my goodness, Shaggy and Jar Jar are behind Order 66.
So okay, man, it's funny you said that. Okay. So Brian,
Yes.
Explain to me
Oh wow, I can't wait
how
for this one.
Jar Jar Binks
Yes.
would use the Sword of Omens.
Okay. So here's what happens. So Jar Jar is a lonely fellow, right? We just know this. Because when you're this weird squid, Oompa Loompa, alpaca alien with a Jamaican accent for some unknown reason, who only talks about yourself in the third person, you spend a lot of time alone. So when he finds the Sword of Omens, what we realize is that he decides we find that the Sword of Omens has a rule very similar to the Elder Wand, is that you can take these Sword of Omens away from his wielder as long as you defeat them in combat or you kill them. So what we find out is one of these days, Lionel's out taking a happy little stroll on Third Earth. Maybe he comes by a nice little waterfall, a pond, and he takes a swim in it. And Jar Jar, taking a stolen lightsaber, throws the stolen, fully erect lightsaber and electrocutes poor Lion-O in the pond. At that moment, he grabs the Sword of Omens with the express purpose to finally get both Cheetara and Pooh-Myra. I'm going deep. I love the Thundercats, bro. I go deep in Thundercats lore. And maybe even, depending on her age, maybe a little wily kid. Yes. So he holds up the sword and he goes, thunder, 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 Thundercats ho. However, because of that stupid Jamaican accent that Lucas is Rastafarian dig that Lucas insisted him have, he can't say the words right. So the sword doesn't actually ever work. So Jar Jar, feeling that, wow, my sword is too small for the job, he gets upset. He goes to the Black Pyramid and gives the sword to Mum-Ra, who rewards Jar Jar by giving him the ancient powers of evil, which allows Jar Jar, a la Monstar from Silverhawks, I can draw all the cannons, brother, to finally arrive at his ultimate state, his final form, in ruling Third Earth, while Mum-Ra takes over the rest of the universe. So Jar Jar doesn't actually use the Sword of Omens. He uses a bargaining chip to embrace his inner evil and hopefully get a little Thunder Nookie on the side.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, Brian. So here's the second part of what we're going to do.
Okay.
I'm going to say a weapon, and I want you to tell me somebody who should never wield that weapon.
Okay. Okay.
And why.
Okay.
And we're going to start out with the Infinity Gauntlet.
I knew you were going to start with the Infinity Gauntlet. Okay. Who should not? Can I go across universes?
This is Bad Signals from the multiverse, so feel free to use it. Shine the light in the multiverse.
Okay. It should not be. Oh, I would love it, but literally the person should not have the Infinity Gauntlet. We mentioned once already in the podcast. Would be the Joker. Can you imagine what would happen if the Joker could literally control reality? Other than the world we populated are probably millions of Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
By the way, one Harley is definitely enough. I would say the worst would be the Joker, to have that. Secondly, we already just mentioned, I think Jar Jar would be a bad idea. And then finally, Alf.
Ooh.
Alf.
All right, he would get all the cats in the world.
Because all the cats in the world, Gordon Shumway should not have, I'm calling it right now, Gordon Shumway should not have the Infinity Gauntlet.
Okay. All right, next, Brian. That was perfect. I love it. Brian, explain to me why or who should never wield a Green Lantern ring.
Should never wield.
Who do you think should never have the willpower to wield? I went back and forth between the Green Lantern ring and Mjolnir.
Okay.
But we're gonna go with the Green Lantern ring.
Okay, we should never ever have the
Maybe
Green
because they
Lantern.
can't say the oath.
No. So I'm pulling again, going back to the 80s. I'm saying Orko from He-Man and the
Ooh.
Masters of the Universe. So
I love
Orko doing very limited elf magic can't seem to get anything right. Could you imagine if Orko was given the Green Lantern power ring with his habit of not getting things just right? All the ridiculousness, all the shenanigans, all the havoc that would take place when it came to that. The other person, Snarf from Thundercast. I'm having a Thundercast day just because I think Snarf was as timid as he is. He would just put himself in probably this missile silo and keep himself secure. However, I want Cringer to have the Green Lantern ring so he can flat out get his come ups against Prince Adam.
Prince Adam. All
Prince
right,
Adam.
man.
Because you know Cringer has kept receipts and he's gonna make Prince Adam feel some pain.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, man. Well, that's what I got for you. I think that is exactly how it should go. And now we are going to move on
Yes, sir.
to, instead of a game for me,
Yes.
Brian decided to have a game for you.
Yes. So I'm going to read this a couple times, and this is our same plot, new characters. So Bradley, while I normally pitch this to you, and in the future we'll probably do a couple of these. One that I'll pitch to my tag team partner, once we'll pitch to the fandom out there. But I'm going to read you a same plot, new characters, and I'll read it a couple times. I'm just curious if you, while don't state the answer, so we don't want to spoil, we'll see if the fans respond.
Yeah.
But I'm just curious, we can talk offline if you figure out who this is or the movie this is. So same plot, new characters. This is a movie that I know Bradley and I have seen more than once or twice. It is a very popular movie. It is a mainstream movie. Many people have seen it. But I kept the plot the same, but I used references from other projects and characters held by the actors and actresses in this film. So here we go with same plot, new characters. Before Harley met the Joker, she was in love with another Mr. J. The two ran roughshod over the real Gotham City and picked a fight with a Green Lantern along the way. Despite the bright lights on Friday and being inspired by the Buyers Club from the Lone Star State, this aviator committed acts that were downright super bad. Even working with an accountant's brother couldn't spare him from misery or avoid a Punisher's judgment. Not all stories have a happy ending. Sometimes they just go down with the ship. I'll read it again, but after that first reading, do you have any thoughts, sir? Again, don't share for the audience.
I'm texting you what I think it is.
Okay. So I'll read it again. Before Harley met the Joker, she was in love with another Mr. J. The two ran roughshod over the real Gotham City and picked a fight with a Green Lantern along the way. Despite the bright lights on Friday and being inspired by a Buyers Club for the Lone Star State, this aviator committed acts that were downright super bad. Even working with an accountant's brother could not spare him from misery or avoid a Punisher's judgment. Not all stories have a happy ending. Sometimes you just go down with the ship. All right, I'm checking your text right now. You are correct, my friend.
Okay.
You are correct.
I love it.
Sir.
I love it. All right. So there you go. I'll clip it and put it out on TikTok for everybody. Brian, do you have an honest ad?
I do. So as we're recording on March 8th, 2026, Bradley, this is the kickoff of daylight savings time. So I don't know about you, but the clocks in my house, most of them had to be readjusted. Thank goodness that cell phones update themselves. But here we go with the honest ad for daylight savings time. Spring forward, fall back. Everyone's sleep schedule is under attack. The seasons change as do the clocks. The havoc this plays can totally kick rocks. We lose an hour of sleep. We lose an hour of sleep, that is. It causes confusion, especially during your nightly whiz. It's like Back to the Future, but without the car. This Saturday night shift costs us all time at the bar. While some things change, others stay the same. Daylight savings feels so damn lame. The struggle is finding balance between night and day. As they say in The Princess Bride, we've just sucked 1 hour of your life away. I'll continue to bitch, oh so richly. The only way to fix it, time with Rhea Bloody Ripley. And that is my honest ad for Daylight Savings Time.
So, okay, I heard this on TikTok yesterday or the day before, something like that. Somebody did a TikTok. I wish I remember their name or say the video so I could give them credit for this. But they said that The Princess Bride is the most remakeable movie that has ever been made. And at first, I'm thinking that those are fighting words, right?
Sure.
But his points are, the story is being told by what the little boy is perceiving in his head.
Right.
So it's going to all be dependent on who is telling the story and who's listening to the story.
That's a good point.
So you could tell anybody, and however they're perceiving the characters.
Yes.
Is there? So you could take anybody to be anybody else in The Princess Bride, and it would make sense. And my mind is still freaking blown about that.
That's a good point.
Yeah,
That's a really good point. You know, that's sort of what they did when they made Once Upon a Deadpool, which is the amalgamation of Deadpool and The Princess Bride. And it was done really well with... The best parts were with Deadpool and Fred Savage reprising the grandson in the movie, including the old school Cheetos bag, which I just noticed out the gate. But yeah, there are definitely those movies that you're right. The story, number one, is timeless, but also it can be updated fairly easily because it's based on the perception of the actors and actresses in the movie. So I agree with you that it could definitely be redone. And that might be a good challenge for a future pod to take the most significant roles. So we've got, obviously, you've got Princess Buttercup, you've got Wesley Snipes and Dread Pirate Roberts, you got Inigo Montoya, You Killed My Father, Prepare to Die, you got Fezzik, you even can do Miracle Max. There's a few different characters. If you stuck to like the 5 most prominent characters, who do we see playing them in the future if there was a remake? So we fan cast stuff fairly regularly. I think we maybe said let's take these 5 people. Again, I'm picking 5 off the top of my head, but these 5 roles, who would we recast it and why? And I think we could bat signals from the multiverse. We could fan cast Princess Bride 2, The Search for Inigo's Scars, or something like that.
Yeah, I love it.
All right, man.
All right, dude.
By the way, did we ever find out what happened to the one guy, the guy that was with the Pit of Despair? I know you see Fezzik's hit him over the head. Did he kill him, or what happened with the one? I know his character has a name, but just escaping me right now. Did they ever talk about what happened to him?
I don't think so.
All right, I think they kind of made it sound without saying it that Fezzik, that was a pretty big size hand on Andre the Giant come crashing on top of your head. I think they were trying to say that may have been the end of him, but all right, we'll definitely get up for a future podcast. All right, so we are now at the Betterness Human of the Week part of our show, sir. I'll let you go first. What do you want to recommend, sir? Who's your Betterness?
You know, I think I am going to go with my little Leia, my Princess Leia. The kid is at school. She's killing it. She loves her band. She's doing good at school. Man, I am super proud of my kiddo. So Princess Leia, you're my Better Than Us Human of the Week.
Well, that's going to fit in perfectly with mine because today is March 8th. Bradley, today is International Women's Day. So we all are very fortunate. You and I successfully have really wonderful, powerful women in our personal lives and professional lives. And while Leia's turning 14, you know she's going to be a baller, banger young woman. She already is that as we speak. So for all the women in my life, again, we appreciate you. We see you. I will never know the journey. I put this on my social media page earlier. I cannot speak as a stupid guy. I cannot speak of the journey of women, but I will tell you, you cannot be a good man without the benefit of better women. So
Absolutely.
with that, again, have a happy, and one day is not enough. Have a happy and blessed International Women's Day. All right, brother. We have to put a pin in this thing.
All right, Brian, what are your words of wisdom?
As always, want to thank you for joining us on our podcast. It is the best part of our week. We hope to start you off with a great part of your week. So as you're getting out there, however you're traversing the multiverse, remember these words of wisdom. First off, Goonies, never say die, and no retreat, no surrender.
Remember, life is like a video game tutorial. No one reads it, and we all suffer later. And sometimes the villain is right. He's just being a jerk about it. All right, so keep your eyes peeled for TikToks and shorts dropping all week.
Sure.
And watch for your chance to jump into the chaos live. Don't forget to follow, like, drop a comment, share, and leave a 5-star review to help keep the signal shining. And if you haven't yet subscribed to the podcast so you'd never miss an episode, when the sky lights up, we show up, because this is Bat Signals from
the multiverse.
Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, folks.